Next up, we have Showdown. This is a very different episode. I know that every Tales from the Crypt episode can't be the same thing, can't always be revenge monsters coming back from the grave, or, switching bodies, or usually deals with jealousy. I've noticed that a lot of love, a lot of betrayals and stuff like that. That's the bread and butter of this show. But this one tries something completely different, and the results are kind of just odd. It's a very strange episode. So yeah, let's just talk about it. We get David Morrison here from, I just know him best from Langoliers. He's in freaking everything, but that's always my mind goes immediately. But Western horror, like period piece horror alone is very rare, but old Wild West horror is even rarer. So even getting anything within the realm of horror that is Western. But this is what I'm talking about when it comes to it being an odd episode. It doesn't really feel all that horror to me. It's really just kind of I wasn't a big fan, for sure. Things just kind of happen and you're like, okay, and then it ends and you're like, interesting. That this guy, he goes, this Billy the Kid, basically, his name's Billy something, and he's going around and he kills David Morris's character, and he goes back in the bar and he's like the most feared man in town. He's killed everyone around. He's the fastest draw. And this salesman sells him this reflex tonic, which he drinks, which I don't know exactly what's in that stuff. I don't know if it like makes him hallucinate and that foreshadows his imminent death, or makes him see what he thinks he'll see, which then he kind of fulfills his own little drug-induced prophecy. I don't know what all that's supposed to be, but he drinks it, and then all of a sudden he does, and all the ghosts of his past come back to haunt him, and then he's warped up in the future to see what the tombstone-like town will be like in the future, and people coming in to see what happened there in that town, and he hears the story of his demise, which ends up then 5 minutes later, or not even less, like 2 minutes later, ends up actually transpiring the way that it was said. So it's it's just like a huge foreshadowing of what's to come, and then it does, and then they're all ghosts together who like team up and ride off as like a ghost crew into the sunset. And there's like lots of like random cuts back to horses riding in the sunset. It's just like interspliced throughout the entire episode. I don't know if that's just like the ghosts coming to take him away, and so that they can move on to the next realm with him. I don't know. It's an odd episode. I will have to say that, for one, finding out how you're gonna die would be terrible. But two, anyone who would see, even right now, but especially like back in the Old West days, if you were to take those people and bring them to now, or the 90s in which this show is, it would it would blow your mind. You wouldn't even know what to do. You would just be I don't think your brain is capable of having that much change all in a moment. It's kind of like in The Matrix when they say like, we usually don't pull people out past a certain age. Their mind refuses to let go. It would be one of those kinds of scenarios. So just him seeing like cars and how things are going to become, even though it's still in this shanty little town and all he's really seeing is a couple vans and such. He doesn't see enough, but he doesn't see like a crazy amount, should I say, but he sees just enough to be like, what the fuck is going on? If you plopped him into like a metropolitan city now, he would just, that would kill him alone. He wouldn't even have to get shot in the streets. But yeah, what a weird episode. Not a fan. Anyway, moving on.